Welcome back to the Your Energy First podcast. I'm your host, Emily McNaughton, and today we are going to talk about how to manifest or create positive upgrades for the highest good for you when you travel. When you travel. Now, I use this personally, whether it's personal travel, business travel, whatever the topic is. And this has served me in so many ways. I am trying to think if there's ever been a trip where I haven't received there's always something uplifting. And one of the beautiful parts about creating this experience for yourself is you're setting the intention to put energy into motion to work in your favor and in your favor, not in place of somebody else or someone else gets a negative experience because you get upgraded, simply because you've asked. And we always state for the highest good of all involved. So, my partner and I have taken a couple of trips recently. And when we fly domestic, we fly regular, coach, and we fly international, we fly business. And the last few times we've traveled, we've gone to some pretty busy cities. Man, both times there's on the announcement they overbooked the flight. And so we're sitting there one morning and we're waiting for our flight bright and early. And the woman on the intercom says, "We have $400 in gift cards of your choice between Target, Macy's, etc." And nobody moves. And she goes up to whatever the number was, 500, 600, 800. Nobody moves. And then she said 800 and change, or it was 900, I forget. And finally, some people started moving. And we get onto our flight. So we both prefer aisle seats. So we sit across the aisle from one another. And we're sitting there, and I cannot believe it. So he has his aisle full, and there are two seats next to me are empty. Now, I had said, okay, let's set our intentions for this trip. And I allow him to set his own intentions for whatever he wants, keeps to himself, and then I'll say some out loud. And what I had shared was for positive upgrades. So I went to my inner light, I ran through the framework, and I said, I set the intention for positive upgrades throughout the entire duration of this trip for the highest good of all involved. And it was so funny because the door closes and him and I are looking at each other like, no way, there's no way. So he moves over and I move into the window seat and we kind of have like a little picnic on our trip and we're just like giggling and having a great time. And we had that whole aisle to ourselves, or that whole row to ourselves. So that was that time. And I said to him, I go, isn't it wild how this works? And he's like, yeah, he's a very practical person and he's very supportive. One time isn't going to do it, right? So we're on our next trip, the next one right after that. And I say the same thing. And I said, okay, I set our intentions. I set the intentions for our trip. Just giving him a heads up. He's going like, okay, whatever makes you happy. So this flight, it was something the same. It was really similar. So they get on the intercom and they say, we have gift cards for people. And it was around, I think they got up to $600 this time. So we get on board, and this time I'm sitting in the center seat because I want to be next to him so I can fall asleep because it was so early in the morning and it was not Pacific time. And I was like, I'm just gonna take a little snooze on his shoulder. And the person in the window seat next to me no shows. So we had a fully booked flight both times, overbooked, and the person no shows. So I scoot over, and again, we have our space. And it's just so funny to me that these things continue to happen over and over again. We got a beautiful river view from our hotel. They upgraded us. This has worked where there was another time I was meeting up with a friend, and I think I might have told you guys a story before, but for some reason, it was a really small hotel, like a mom and pop hotel or motel, or I don't know what it was, not motel, but just like a smaller one. And I called them, and it was so random that I called them, and they said something along the lines of, "Oh, we don't have your reservation," or there was a mess up. And so they upgraded our room to the most incredible water view on the corner suite. I was like, oh, I was like, that's right. I woke up this morning and I set that intention. I think I'd called them because I wanted something for the room, and that's what had happened. So long story short, and there's been so many other ways that little positive pieces have come through. Actually, on another flight, I was flying solo, and I had meant to order food for myself, and I forgot. And then I went the night before my flight, and it was, 10 hours before my flight, or 15 hours before my flight. And I said, sorry, but the food, you can't order anymore. And I thought, oh, shoot skis, whatever. I'll just get something at the airport, and I bring stuff from home too. So I'm sitting in my seat, and the flight attendant says, I have your XYZ, the food. And I said, oh, I said, no. I said, I didn't order anything. And he goes, Emily McNaughton. And I look at him, I said, yeah. And he goes, here you go. I was like, what? So I pull up my card for this airline, and I'm looking through it. I'm like, I've not been charged for this. I said, well, I certainly didn't order it. So I was just like, okay, thank you. So again, it's just such a fun thing to do. And so the way that you would do this is you'd go through your inner light framework. Just start by kind of like rebalancing your energy, getting centered, getting out of that beautiful human noggin of yours. And what I say is, I set the intention for safe travel to and from all destinations with ease for XYZ trip. And I set the intention for lots of positive upgrades and positive surprises along the way for the highest good of all involved. I am so grateful. I hope you enjoy using that. I would love to hear from you if you do and what comes from it. You are a magic maker and you are creating your experience. And if you have any questions for the podcast, anything you want to see, there is a link in the profile or in the show notes, and you can ask me a question and I'll share it on the podcast. Take care, everyone. Bye. It has been so great to connect here. If this episode resonated with you, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who you want to have more of these chats with. As you move throughout your day, remember, your energy is your superpower. As you pay attention to it and trust it, you can watch your entire life begin to transform.